How to Talk Dirty and Influence People, an autobiography by Lenny Bruce, as read by Aaron Chase. Chapter 4. I volunteered for the Navy in 1942. I was about 5'2", weighed 120 pounds, and had a heavy beard that needed removing about once every 6 months. One day I was standing at 90 Church Street in downtown New York City, literally in the hands of a doctor who was telling me to cough. That universal experience every male who gets caught in the draft undergoes. The Navy taught me a sterile sense of cleanliness, punctuality, and it gave me a security of belonging. For the first time, I was able to relate to my fellow man. My first relative was Artie Shaw. We took boot training together in Newport, Rhode Island. During the 21st day incubation period, the excitement of war was dwarfed by Artie Shaw is here? Artie Shaw. Begin the Beguine, Night and Day, Dave Tuff, Max Kaminsky, Lana Turner, Keithlyn Windsor, Artie Shaw, Music and Love, and me? We were brothers in blue. Of course, I never saw him, but it was enough for me to know that he was here. 18 years later, I got the same gratification from those magic words. Artie Shaw is here. When the owner of the Blue Angel Cafe whispered it to me before I went on stage. Artie Shaw is here. How natural. We were in the war together. He had enlisted as an apprentice seaman. He could have gone in a dozen other ways, like Glenn Miller, for example, with a commission in clarinet, but he had made it as an apprentice seaman, which was a silly-ass thing to do. As it turned out, he had a much rougher time in service than I did. He either got an over-salacious, "This is Artie Shaw, Captain Alden. He has agreed to give you an autographed picture of himself for Admiral Nimitz." Or more often, "Look, pretty boy, you're not in Hollywood now. There ain't no butlers around here." Artie Shaw would have been glad to have been as anonymous as I was then. An ordinary seaman with a serial number wanting to fight for his country. Even as a kid, I was hip that 80% of the guys that go for civil service pension security have no balls for the scuffle outside. I'm not kicking the desire for security. We're all kind of scared and would like to be sitting under the kitchen sink picking at the linoleum, but it really bugged Shaw. He put in an urgent request for a transfer to the Mediterranean. We were all anxious to go and be blessed by priests and rabbis, thereby giving us the okay to kill the enemy. Those dirty, pregnant Japanese women who stood in the silent army, like the Italian mothers standing over the boiling pots of spaghetti, the Jewish mothers slaving over pots of chicken soup, women unconcerned with politics. All they know is that 49 cents a pound for chopped meat is ridiculous. Those dirty Jap babies crawling on the floor, amused by the magic of a cat, his purr, his switching tail. Those dirty Japs we hated, who now fill the windows of American stores with cameras. Those dirty Japs that knocked up the portable radio industry. Where the hell was the syndicated Nostradamus and his Chris Prowell predicts then? And now, there are no more dirty Japs. There are dirty commies. And when we run out of them, they'll just be dirty dirt and dirty mud. And then we'll eat the mud and Pearl Buck will write a book about it. By the time the few hippies discovered that it's the earth which is dirty, we'll have made it to the moon for Miss Missile Contest. On a cruel triple Burr, snow-cold gray winter morning at Conding Point, Rhode Island, Artie Shaw and 20-odd other soldiers sat in the fetal position, with their red eyes and chapped thighs, waiting for chow to blow. A chief petty officer came in and told Artie that a lieutenant commander was outside the barracks and wanted to see him immediately. Shaw was sure this was his transfer. He marched out with his Don Winslow snap, the sailors nervously peeking through the barrack windows. When you're in boot camp, the lieutenant commander might as well be the president. Shaw was understandably nervous as the lieutenant commander reached out his hand, saying, "Put her there, Artie," and then said 14 words that had more impact than Roosevelt's December 7th, a day that will live in infamy speech. The lieutenant commander looked Shaw in the eye and said, "I just want to shake the hand that patted the ass of Lana Turner." I was in the Navy when I had my first love affair. A one-night stand with Louise, the kind of chick that makes an elevator operator feel possessed of great control because he went up 18 floors and didn't rip off her dress. Louise was 28 when I met her. Her father and mother had just died, and she and her brother inherited the business. It was a 13 by 13 combination Italian-American grocery store and soda fountain, with living-in quarters in the back. Her brother took care of the store during the day, and she worked there at night so she could go to CCNY. Her husband was a private in the U.S. infantry, stationed in Iceland for the duration. I walked into the store in white hat, dress blue uniform, and my Eddie Johnson shoes, so new they slipped on the cement. I wasn't announced by the Little Tin Bell candy store burglar alarm, and behind the counter stood Luis. Doctors who have probed, cut, sewn, and rubber-gloved so many women that it has become a task would be shaken by Luis. Your anecdotes seem quite normal. Perhaps the trouble is respiratory. Unbutton your blouse for a moment and we'll give a listen to the old ticker. There's quite a bit of flu going around here, and they're actually, here, oh God, oh merciful mother of God, what a body. You're so tan and yet so white. Please, may I touch you? No, it is a doctor. Let me unbutton your shirt and feel you close to me. Please don't push away. Here, let me. Please. Oh God, please don't push away. Please, let me just latch this door. Let me just get a kiss. That's all I want. Please, just touch it. Just look at it. I do respect you. I just can't catch my goddamn breath. With $8 hidden in my shoe and $1 in my hand, I walked up to the counter and spoke with a jaded enough tone so that Luis would know that I'd been around. Pepsi, please, and a big bag of potato chips. She ripped the stapled chips away from the cardboard. When she spoke, her words stunned me. I never expected a woman who looked like that to talk that way to a bon vivant such as I. "How the hell did you get gum in your hair?" she asked. And the guy who sleeps in the bunk above me stuck it on the edge of my rack. I thought I got it out. "Come here. I got some Benzay. It'll take it out." I followed her through the blue rayon portals that separated the store from her home. I sat on a soda box and watched her rumble through the medicine cabinet, which was a cardboard carton under her bed. She soaked the rag and stood over me, gently kneading the chewing gum from my hair. Her thighs, with the good life scent of the white dove, pressed weightlessly against my cheek. The gum was long gone, and my first love was nurtured in a setting Metaguile Doro coffee, Ace Combs and Progresso tomato puree. I wonder if the Chilean Chicla workers ever dreamt of the delicious fruit that I received from the byproduct of his labor. I was assigned to a light cruiser, the USS Brooklyn. Me and Leonard Alfred Schneider were on the deck of a warship bound for North Africa, along with 1,300 other men and enough munitions to bring a man-made earthquake to Ain el Turk, Biarritz, and Algiers, which was to be followed after the war by a socio-political earthquake. For we were blasting more than enemy breastworks. We were shaking loose the veils from shadowed Muslim faces and the gold from their front teeth. I had 2 battle stations, one at 1.1 gun and my watch was on 5-inch deck gun. A cannon in the Navy is always called a gun. 5 in the morning, revile, 5:10, topside, wash down the decks and do paint work. 7 o'clock, secure. 7:30, 2-8, chow. Prunes, beans, cornbread, cold cuts, Waldorf salad, coffee. 8 o'clock, turn to painting, chipping, scraping, ammunitions working party. 12 o'clock, chow, braised beef, dehydrated potatoes, spinach, coffee, cake with icing. 1 o'clock, work. 2:45, attack by enemy planes, man your battle stations, fight with planes. I could use Navy time, 0600, etc., but I had elevated to idiomatic groups. Look out the window and see who's on the left side of the boat. Secure the battle may be 8 p.m. Secure at sea. Ammunitions working party. Replace expended ammunitions. Quick scrub down. 12:30 hit the sack. And I never got more than 4.5 hours sleep a night in 3 years. Blood and salt water mixed together looks blue. 8 men followed by 12, then by 40 more, floated gracefully by the bow of the USS Brooklyn. These dead Air Forcemen, then just a few months ago, were saying, "What do you want, high test or regular? Did you get my pants out of the cleaner, sweetheart?" They'll never get me. My uncle's an alderman." "Now listen, Vera. I'm going to put all my stuff in these cardboard boxes, and I'm going to lock them in that closet in the back of the den, and please don't let anyone touch them. And don't just say yes to me. I don't want anyone, do you understand? Anyone fooling around with my stuff." His stuff. My stuff. Everyone was worrying about their stuff, their papers, their possessions. The bodies continued to float by, their heads bumping the starboard side. Seeing those pitiful, fresh, dead bodies, I knew then what a mockery of life the materialistic concept is. After they got the telegram, someone would go through his stuff and try to figure out why in the world he wanted all that stuff. The stuff that he kept so nice would eventually be thrown out of the basement, for the stuff would now be crap. "Hey, throw this crap out of here."